What is this problem that we have every year with Rainbow Six Siege? You know what? Starting from the beginning, it was rough. And so I can see how we ended up where we are now. Rainbow Six Siege had a rough, turbulent launch. Something that was kind of the same thing as putting into place as maybe a zombie. Rainbow Six was dead on arrival, especially compared to other games like Call of Duty, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. And we also had Battlefield 4 that built itself up a decent fan base after a turbulent launch. And it came back out with Battlefield 1 that came out swinging strong, but waned in its second year. But if you just go back and look at Siege, at launch, Siege was nothing. I don't even think that you could say that Siege really was a game, because it was so obsolete or so thin of content that for me as a player, it was absolutely unplayable. I mean, I'm a gamer, I'm an avid gamer, and so of course I gave it a chance and I gave it the good old hoorah, let's see what this has to offer. I played both betas. I had the game on day one launch, and it really let me down. And I never thought that I would be here now, coming back to something I basically threw in the trash. Rainbow Six crawled out of the swamp like a zombie corpse, long thought to be dead, only to chew away at what we know now as the biggest genre in gaming, which is the first-person shooter. Now, I love first-person shooters, but I'm actually an RPG type of guy. Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite games of all time. I also like old classics like White Knight Chronicles, Legends of the Dragoon, just to name a few. But of all these years, I've also been an avid first-person shooter fan. I've just always been good at them. Even in the Call of Duties, when they had good leaderboards, I was always in the top 100, sometimes always in the top 10 if I had that much time to play the game. But Rainbow Six Siege made such a great comeback. All of my friends were like, oh, they fixed this and they fixed that. You should come back to it. And after looking into the game, they were right. With each season, Ubisoft showed great innovation and resilience to push forward what was a long time a sleeping giant. Because when you thought of #1 first-person shooters, you definitely did not have Rainbow Six Siege in the conversation. It was Call of Duty in whatever title that they came out with that year, and Battlefield in a distant second, but over the years, Battlefield closed that gap. Especially with some missteps, especially by the Call of Duty publishers, Activision, which usually like to bleed their franchises dry. So we'll see what they do this year. But that aside, now that we have awakened this sleeping giant, that is a franchise that should be around for a long time and seems to be super innovative, how do we feed that? How do we keep that giant alive? Because it is a big task. If you even had a puppy when you were young, your parents would say it's a lot of work. Are you sure that you want this? And the answer is yes, if it comes with such innovative, new and creative gameplay. Something that's absolutely competitive, unlike what Call of Duty has become. Especially with Call of Duty and their matchmaking system, where if you are extremely good Then they try to put you with bad players if you solo queue, and then you go against the best players, and it's an absolute mess. But Rainbow Six doesn't have that. Rainbow Six is based off of teamwork, and guess what? I can carry some players to the higher ranks. I can get them up there, but when they get up there, they absolutely do not stand a chance. And that is what makes Rainbow Six good. It's because it is so competitive. That is the fun part for the more skilled players. The learning curve is super steep, and it can take 3-4 months, a year, to learn just a decent amount of tricks to get even close to the higher ranks, which a lot of people don't make. But for every positive, for every season that R6 takes one step forward, it's immediately followed by at least a half a step back. And I say at least with a grain of salt, because sometimes it takes more than a half a step back. Sometimes it takes 2 steps back and no steps forward. Each season is just a swing, and it could be a home run or it could be a strikeout. No one knows. Just to give you an example, they had the Doc glitch. Doc is a character operator in Rainbow Six, if you don't know, where he heals the defending team. But he only has 3 because that's what they found out to be the balance of the character. Well, in one particular season, Doc could heal everybody unlimited, which gave an extreme advantage to the defending team. So in a game that is absolutely built on the competitiveness, if someone is given an advantage like that, it makes the more competitive people not want to play. So now we've come to year 3 in Rainbow Six Siege, with them releasing new DLC characters and a plethora of glitches on its own. One in particular, the Invisible Man glitch, where players can make themselves invisible in competitive gameplay. My question is, when is enough enough? Is this going to be the stone that kills the giant? The one from David that knocks down Goliath? Eventually, the Rainbow Six community and casual players all together are going to say that enough is enough, especially when it comes to something like a AAA title that is supposed to have the resources to fix these type of things. No one wants to feel like they're at a disadvantage all the time. No one wants to pick up a game that is supposed to be about being competitive and a fair and balanced playing field, and then get absolutely destroyed over and over again, not because of lack of skill, but simply because the game is broken. Anyway, that's about all the time that I have today for this video. I'm just gonna wrap it up and ask you guys, what do you think about the positive side of Rainbow Six and the missteps also by the developer? Do you think it's gonna affect the season in any way, the player count? Do you think that people are gonna leave the game, or do you think that it's gonna keep growing at the rate that it's growing now? Anyway, I'm Maximus Decimus, aka King Max, aka the Big Bad Max Dog. If you guys like these videos, man, please hit a like, a subscribe. I appreciate all the feedback. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. And until the next time, Mbasa.